Okay, so DC has recently revealed a lot of projects, possibly to keep morale high after Supergirl was anticipated to underperform at the box office. We have Crypto, Joker Laugh Riot, Batman Nightfall, and we still have projects like Man of Tomorrow, Lanterns, and Clayface to look forward to. All of this combined with the recent release of the amazing LEGO Batman game. Us Batman fans are eating pretty good, okay? But it doesn't stop there. Welcome to Cape and Cal Cafe, I'm Nemo, and today we're going to talk about the highly anticipated Absolute Batman animated series. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. By the way, there will be spoilers for all of the issues currently out for the book, so if you haven't read it and you're not caught up, don't watch the video. That simple. So yes, that is correct. DC just announced an Absolute Batman show, and I didn't really expect it, or at least this soon. The show will reportedly be made with 3D CG animation and will be produced by writer Scott Snyder and artist Nick Dragotta. This is great news, as we know right off the bat that the original creators will be behind the show. This leads me to believe that the essence of the book will remain intact. Obviously, there are cases where you can't always bring the original creators back, but it's always best to try. And when you don't, you end up with character assassinations like Zuko from the new Netflix Avatar show. I feel like bringing Scott Snyder on is also essential, as the book isn't even finished, okay? It's not like this is a comic that's been done for years and now it's finally being adapted. This mofo is still writing it. That also makes us all ask the question, is this happening too soon? Like, yeah, we all love Absolute Batman and this is great news, but would it have been better to wait until after the book had concluded? Like, comic book writing and TV writing are very different, and I want Scott to focus on the book and make sure that he's creating the most fulfilling and complete story he can. I'm worried that now that he's working on both, he could start writing the book with the mindset of, oh, how will this work in the show? How's the studio going to react to this? You know, blah, blah, blah. He should be able to write his story unimpeded by the restrictions of TV network BS, and if Warner Brothers wants to adapt it afterwards, that's great, okay? I'm a big fan of creator freedom, and it's also why I don't think Robert Pattinson should be the Batman of the DCU. I have major respect for Matt Reeves' vision, and I don't want to see it compromised because of studio interference. The same thing applies here. I also think it could have a negative effect on the comics when it comes to the mainstream appeal. Okay, this book has genuinely made comics more popular again. And I don't want people to just, be like, oh, I'll just watch the show, Like, people should be enthusiastic about the comic and read the comic and not just support the show, Where have I heard that before? Maybe I was thinking of it. Now, even with that small concern, I'm still hyped for the show, okay? Who wouldn't be? I mean, how often do we get adaptations of comic books this recent? The only other example I can think of is TT Games, including all of the, the Night Fight and the Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez suit in the new LEGO Batman game. It really seems like comic books have made a big comeback in the last few years, and more people are getting back into the hobby, and I just think that's so awesome, okay? So overall, I think that this show is going to be a net positive for Batman in general. Now, one thing that a lot of people are speculating on is how this show is going to be structured. The book is still ongoing and it doesn't really have that much material to pull from yet, so is this going to be a limited series? I don't know. I could honestly just see them making each volume a different season. So Black Mask and the Party Animals would be season 1, Bane would be season 2, and Joker would be season 3. We even have a decent amount of extra issues that would make pretty good filler episodes to pad out the length, like Absolute Batman Annual number 1, Bane's origin, the Arc M special, and the Joker origin from issue 15 narrated by Alfred. You could even have a filler episode adapting the adventure Bruce and Diana share when they travel to Hell. That one technically isn't filler because it's important to Wayland's story, but still, you get it. And honestly, this stuff isn't even filler by usual TV standards. I feel like filler episodes have a negative connotation as most TV filler just isn't good, but filler doesn't have to be bad. All it is a break from the main story and can be used to fill in the gaps or give us more insight into a specific character. I'm gonna bring it up again, but look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. The filler episode in Ba Sing Se was one of the best in the series, even though it had nothing to do with the plot. It was just a fun exploration of some of the main characters. So while there's only 20-something issues so far, I feel like there's still plenty of material to pull from to fill out an entire season. And again, there are other Absolute titles, and you could have episodes that spin off into an Absolute Wonder Woman show. You got Superman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and then you could, do all of that and then eventually spin off into Absolute Justice or whatever that, team's going to be called. I don't know. I'm weary of exploring this idea, but Scott could even add things into the show that aren't in the book. I think this could be a benefit if the show takes on like the villain of the week format. We could see a bunch of Batman villains that have yet to be brought into this universe. We could have like Absolute Ventriloquist and Scarface, who would probably just be like a sentient puppet, and he would just have his arm stuffed into a human corpse, and that would be his Scarface. I know it's gross, but welcome to the Absolute universe. I think that people sometimes forget that this universe was created by Darkseid, and he absolutely hates Batman. We could also get Absolute Killer Moth, Absolute Hugo Strange, Absolute Calendar Man. Fun fact, we already got Absolute Condiment King. He appeared in Mad About DC, and he was just a big naked man covered in sriracha sauce, and then he like blew up and died. Scott Snyder could also use this show as a way to finally give us a proper crossover between Absolute Batman and mainline Batman. I know they met in DCKO, but he was under the control of Darkseid for most of it, and I don't think either character remembers that encounter. I would like to see them team up, like maybe they'd start out not trusting each other because of their differences, but come to share a deep respect after realizing that their core values really aren't that different. Absolute Batman would probably be put off by mainline Bruce's billionaire status, and mainline Batman might feel uncomfortable with how reckless Absolute Batman can be. And then you could have mainline Batman interact with some other characters like Martha, because I don't think she's really dead, okay? I don't believe it. And maybe he could even meet Absolute Alfred and just, be completely shocked by his, like, MI6 status. I don't know. It could be really cool. Now, when it comes to the look of the show, we know it's going to be animated with CG. That does worry me a little bit, but some recent projects to be animated like this include X-Men 97, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, What If, and the Super Sons movie. I think if done right, this show could look cool in one of those styles, but I think most people would just prefer it to be 2D. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, they're adapting a comic book, and the only other main Batman show to be animated in 3D was Beware the Batman, and that show is just kind of uncomfortable to look at. I personally think the way to go is just to try to replicate Nick Dragotta's style, but like refine it. I know a lot of people don't like the way he draws faces, but let's be honest, a lot of other comic book artists struggle with those too. Plus, I think Dragotta's style adds to the uneasy horror vibe that this book has. I think it could be really cool to give this show more of like an anime feel as well when it comes to the visuals, as this book has a lot of anime influence. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but when it comes to the art style and the animation, we need to look at Invincible as an example of what to avoid. First off, we need good animation and compositing. Okay, I am so sick and tired of these animated shows having horrible lighting and no shading. Okay, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man 2017, and Invincible all have really flat looking visuals. They barely have any shadows, which is important for conveying depth in a 2D space. Second, we need to hire actual voice actors and not just celebrities. Okay, this has multiple benefits. One, you can be more conservative with the budget and use it for more important areas like, I don't know, the visuals of the show, the way it looks, like the actual show. In most cases, voice actors just give a better performance than most on-screen actors. Plus, Batman isn't a project that needs crazy stacked celebrity voice casts. It's Batman, okay? People are going to watch it no matter what. Invincible wasn't yet a household name, so the voice cast helped the show leave an impact on people. But again, Batman doesn't need that. Like, he's Batman. Now, when it comes to the voice of Batman, I'd love to see either Roger Craig Smith or Alex Lee play him. Roger nails the young, angry Batman as seen in Arkham Origins and Arkham Shadow, but I think I'm leaning towards Alex Lee, who has already given us a look into how he would voice the character.
People of Gotham, you get to watch. And just in case any of you are wondering who I am, I'm Batman!
I know he's basically just doing his Daredevil voice from Rivals, but it totally works, okay? It just sounds so cool. And I also think his voice sounds younger, which would really fit since this Batman is only 23. Alex Lee really does have an incredible range, and he's surprisingly good at screaming, which will definitely come in handy for some of those absolute Batman lines.
Let the devil...
His performance in shows like Demon Slayer and Solo Leveling could also help with the show, giving it more of a dramatic anime feel. As for the rest of the cast, I'm not really sure who I'd pick, but I'd like to reiterate that I don't want to see a million celebrity voices in this show. Like, pick a few if you absolutely have to for the big roles like Bane, Joker, Alfred, but we don't need to grab like Jack Quaid or Aaron Paul for a complete rando who only shows up for one scene. That is just completely unnecessary and wasteful. Overall, I really do want this show to succeed, but in order to do that, they really need to prioritize the comic book. It doesn't matter if the show looks good if the story is not airtight. Okay, Scott Snyder is an incredible writer responsible for some of the best Batman stories of recent memory. WB needs to remember that people only wanted this show because the book is so good. Also, quick side tangent. Why are shows only 8 episodes long now? Like, as a kid, animated shows and even, early seasons of The Flash, they all had 20 episodes minimum. I have no idea what happened to, now where we only get 8, but I don't like it. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button and drop in the comments down below what you were excited for with the Absolute Batman show. Let's talk about it. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.